Hello everyone and welcome. This is Angelina and I would like to say a big thank you for joining us today again for the Smada World Opportunity webinar offered by Next Level Africa. This webinar, as usual, will be pretty much a general overview of where we are at with NLA and the exchanges. And of course we'll be having the Q&A at the end, where you're welcome to ask questions covering all things, basically. Now, mind you, I'll pre-qualify that. There may be some things that Noel will address earlier that he will specifically say, I can't answer questions, but here's some information. So please respect that he may not answer all your questions, or, you know, to the best of his ability, he'll answer what he can. So anyway, going on. Thank you for joining us from all over the world. We've got many people coming from so many places. We've got Indonesia, Jamaica, South Africa, Australia, Canada, the US, Netherlands, Spain, France, and the UK. Welcome. Now, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you our presenter for today, Mr. Noel Adams, the founder of Next Level Africa and our CEO and leader of the Smada team. Welcome, Noel.
Hi everybody, and welcome to the webinar. Look, as Angelina mentioned there, that I'm going to be giving you a little bit of information. It might sound a bit bits and pieces of it, but it's how I've received it, and I don't want to add anything to it. I don't want to make it sound like it's hype going on out there, and just to try to give you the facts. But some of it, I will not be able to answer questions on it, so just be aware of that. First of all, I'll cover the exchanges and the status of where we're at with them. There's been quite a bit of tweaking going on between global exchange and coin exchange. Things not quite in place. So what's just happened is that our development team they're on a plane now heading for London, and they're going to be working with the technical teams in London. We have another team coming in from Japan and Hong Kong. So there's quite a bit of activity going to be happening, but our team are going over there specifically to get global exchange and coin exchange with everything running correctly with it. So our team are there for about 5 days in order to do that. They've got lots of meetings going on. And because of some of the things that are going to be happening there, because as you know that there's meetings going on, and also getting the exchange completely signed over to Smada World out there, we've got that in place. So we've just got a few things we're getting sorted out with that. And so if we have some results that come in from London with that meeting, then we'll hold a special webinar early next week again, because we want to make sure that members are totally informed about what's going on. We've also been trialing out, and we put this to the bank, where we're going to be doing a housing program for something like 20,000 homes, and we've put that in place, a bit of a tester on it, and the bank have okayed it for us. So they're really behind a lot of the things we're doing in the humanitarian world out there. So we're going to be able to provide 20,000 homes for people that need a roof over their head, and we're going to be able to do this at no cost for them. So this is rather exciting, and some of the cash flow that will start flowing through, that we should see a result on that. But I don't want to talk too much about that component of it through the exchanges, because I've been told lots, but I want to wait and see what happens there before I make any commitment on what's going on. So anyway, look, that's where we are with the exchanges. Also too, we have received line 6. We are now just going through line 6 to make sure we've got everything we need there, because a lot of the people that were part of the BCN promo that happened earlier on there a few months ago will be starting to get placed into line 6. So we've got a few placements to go into line 6, and we'll get ourselves organised with that. So you'll see once we sign off on that. Remember this, that this whole thing is connected together with the exchanges, with Next Level Africa, with everything that we do, and it's very hard to factor in all the technical things that can go wrong, because look, we've got a massive technical support group that look after many things, and the issues that they were having there is that the level of security, being able to log into certain parts of the program, so that's the slowness of what was going on, because some of the team couldn't have access to that security level. So they've managed to get that sorted out now, and we're on the move with it. So anyway, we are now working on that component of getting line 6 in place, so that should happen when our development team come back. They're probably coming back Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, so it gives us a couple of days to get that in place. Also, just to cover some of the other things that we're involved with, I guess with the likes of BCN, they've still got a lot of information on their site, and they're actually doing up a complete new site. And whilst we talk about new sites, and I apologise for jumping around, but because I sit here with expectation of getting more and more information, I don't actually script out what I'm talking about. It all comes from my head, and that can be a bit of a worry at times out there, because it can jump around a bit. It's early in the morning where I am, and it's cold. So with the same deal, that BCN are doing up a new website completely, we are going to be looking at doing Next Level Africa, because what you actually look at, maybe some of the guys can relate to this, it's like doing up a motor car. You want to do all the bits, all the mechanical bits, and things that are not necessarily seen before you before you start on the shiny stuff. There's a saying in the motor world, chrome don't get you home. So it's all the chrome bits that happen afterwards. And so what we want to be able to do is to do a very, very good presentation on the NLA site, and get some professional graphic people in place to really to lift it out and expose really what it is, because as I said before, we are a sleeping giant, and when this is known to the world on what's going on there, you will have a lot of people interested in wanting to become part of Next Level Africa, and particularly with the humanitarian projects that we're doing out there, because in order to be considered for any grant, people will have to be a member of Next Level Africa. I've been asked to go in and talk to some various humanitarian groups out there, but I'm not doing that, because I don't want the criteria to be that someone gets to me and gets pushed in front of the queue. It's not like that at all. We want to have a a way that we go about doing it, and because we simply will have thousands of projects on there, we can't have people contacting us, because we'd never be able to manage from that as well. So anyway, but just in saying that, we've got a lot of things planned for Next Level Africa. The back end is the stuff that you don't really see through the how we run the back end of it, but the front end is the appearance, and we certainly want to be getting into to look after that. But first things first, we wanted to make sure that everything's linked in through the exchanges. because we are under the microscope with the bank. The bank certainly look after us, and they can see where we're going. We put a lot of things to the bank so that they don't get any surprises out there. And look, over the last probably few days, I've had people coming to me and talking about, well, how do I explain Next Level Africa? I want to talk to people, and I said, well, they can't sign up, so there's no point at this stage because people can't sign up. We're doing it in a special way with spreadsheets and things for some of our members in order to get them in, and so we're right on top of that. But trying to explain Next Level Africa, I mean, how are you going to explain Next Level Africa to anybody? Because look, we're all entitled to have an opinion on where things are going. And the way I see it is that by the end of this month, the NLA coin is going to nudge, if not or a bit more than $200 a coin. And we are due for a fairly substantial increase, and you should see that coming in over the next few days to a week at this. So there's going to be quite a considerable change in the coin, and as it goes up higher in value and there's more demand on the coin, you will have just a larger increase in the coin. I think we can all note that over the last probably couple of weeks, especially maybe the last 24 to 48 hours, there's been a drop in a lot of the cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin of note and Bitcoin Cash certainly stand out, and we've seen the Bitcoin at somewhere around the $20,000 mark during December. So imagine if you had bought in for the first time then into the coin, because I think the last I looked there a day or so ago, I think it's recovered a little bit, but it was about 6,200. So you can see how volatile that is. Well, our coin won't be like that because we have a use for our coin. And as I said to you before, the coin, when we originally brought out the Jingling coin, Jingling was our first coin, and within a very short space of time we had the bank contacting us and wanted to be part of it because they could see where they could use it for stored value in their humanitarian projects. And just to quickly let you know what happens with that again is that the reason that we promote the Jingling, it's our sister coin as well. That was our original coin. A lot of members have accumulated Jingling. In fact, there's approximately 2 million Jingling coins out amongst the NLA members. And so you know, that was quite a large chunk going out. In all fairness to it, the banks wanted to buy them back again because they didn't like the idea of networkers having that many of the coin that they wanted to use for different reasons out there. And but what happens is when there's a purchase on the Jingling coin, 50% of it goes into the asset account. So imagine it was a $1,000 purchase, and obviously they're a lot more than that because they're selling Jingling coin off the exchange. It doesn't trade through the exchange just yet. The banks want it to all trade through the exchange. So what would happen is that 50% of the $1,000 would immediately go into the asset account. That leaves $500. That $500 gets invested in futures trading, and they get a return over 14 days of 22% per day, which equates to about $2,700 return. Very nice return on that because they get allowances because it's all for humanitarian investment. So what happens with that is that $500 that was earmarked to go in the asset account goes into the asset account, which leaves a balance of $2,200. Out of that, 90% of that is allocated for humanitarian projects. They're in the vicinity now of about $3.5 trillion that they have ready to go. As I mentioned before, that we will be signing off on a deal that they'll be allocating $100 billion a year to Next Level Africa, where we can distribute that out to our humanitarian projects that we have. And I spoke of them selling $1,000 worth of Chingaling coin, but if you can appreciate, if anyone's seen what happens, is that between Next Level Africa and Chingaling, although it's been down for a while, the Chingaling, but you will see a couple, $2 or $3 billion a month going into those accounts, and that's because of the sale. And as I mentioned before, is that the bank, because when they took over the Chingaling coin, I actually owned the Chingaling coin, or owned a percentage of it, and the deal was that they would put $20 billion into our asset account and create our own coin and back the coin, which is the Next Level Africa coin. So that's really where it came from, for those that are not familiar with it. And it's been quite a story, and nobody, the reason I talk in some of these large amounts is I've become used to it. When you talk to banks and they talk in the trillions of dollars, and you hear it, but if you were to talk to someone that has no background on where we've been and what we're doing, and you start talking the billions of dollars, they just, because I'm telling you now, before the end of June, my prediction is there's going to be a couple of thousand people in Next Level Africa that will become overnight millionaires, and there's going to be another couple of thousand people on the way there. And that will happen out there because of what's happened with our coin. And it's happened because I've kept the coin down on $1 a coin to allow members to accumulate the coins. I've been fighting tooth and nail for that. The banks didn't want it out there, and in some ways they're right. It does affect the investor group. They look at us as being able to dump coins on there at prices that they can't match, because if they buy the coins at $100 a coin and beyond, they can't match if our members are getting the coins for $1. So we don't want that to turn our investor group away. We want to be able to work with them. So that's where we are with it. Well, look, basically what I've gone over here now, just to give you a bit of an overview on our team that have gone to London, and there are many people involved in bringing this whole thing together. So we're hoping to see GEX back online. I'm expecting the Chingaling coin to be in excess of $600, somewhere between $600 and $700 a coin. So for anyone that's initially purchased the Chingaling coin at $1 a coin, you've done exceptionally well. I do know that there was quite a few large sales on the Chingaling coin, and so a lot of people are going to be extremely happy with that, because trading will eventually only happen on the exchange, where the coin will be bought and sold. All right, but look, that's really just the update from there. I do want to just now mention the promo that we've got going, and because of the interest in the promo and basically what's going to be happening over the next 24 to 48 hours, that we're running this on a day by day, because if someone's interested in it, they'll need to move quickly on it, because I've allocated a certain amount of accounts for this, in fact 20,000 accounts, and we are approaching that now. So if anybody wants to take this offer up, it's you know, we're looking at it on a day-by-day basis now to see when we stop it, because we want to make sure that we accumulate the coins for this, and also we're filling up a particular line, and when that line's full, then we open it up for the rest of the world, if you like, and then that line will fill very, very quickly. And as I mentioned before, that there'll be no more $1 NLA coin. And yes, this is a good thing, because by the end of June, I want to have it that we take the coin and discontinue offering the NLA coin for $1. Now the coin, as members know, is not something you can buy for $1 and then resell it. It's something that we use for paying our subs in Next Level Africa. So that will change, and it's not going to be that when the coin goes to from the exchange and the coin's sitting there at $150 and $200, you're not going to need 200 coins to be a member of Next Level Africa. So don't worry that you may not have the correct understanding, but it'll be the percentage. So Next Level Africa won't go over $15, it'll be the same. So consequently, once we get that dollar stop from there, then you'll find that all the back offices will change and will be running off percentages of the coin value, and that will happen on a look. Our coin generally goes up every fortnight, so you'll see it adjusted possibly every fortnight. Now we're making this special offer to our members and guests. Purchasing 50 plus positions in Next Level Africa at $20 US for each position, we will need a spreadsheet so that they can be loaded in by our programmers. So they're loaded in by the programmer. We don't actually do them manually. That's why we do them at 50 at a time. They'll fall on line 9. Now line 9 will be completely filled by the time we finish all of this. And the reason we are doing this is to secure the dollar coin, because I had a lot of members wanting to join and take more accounts while we've been going through this process of putting the lines back in line by line out there. Whilst we didn't want to open up for membership so people could sign up, that's too confusing for our programming team. So we allowed this to happen, and so Angelina, who is in charge of admin, is managing this process out there, and I've had a lot of people coming back to me and indicating how helpful Angelina's been, so I want to add that in as well, that we're very grateful for the time that Angelina does spend on this. Because we also want to look after everybody in Next Level Africa, we've introduced the partial positions in NLA. So sending an expression of interest in for partial positions, 10 plus, what would happen with that is that, and the reason it's $22 is because we compile it together. It goes onto a CSV file. It's then loaded in by the programmer, and there's charges on this. That they charge us to do this. I mean, because it's all extra things for them, and so we compile the spreadsheets, getting them together, and then getting it all sorted out from there. So there's fees on doing that. So that's why they're out there. They're not fees that we've added in as profit for us. They're just fees that happen out there because of the handling cost on it. So anybody that wants to partake in less than and look, you may have we've had people get together with family and friends, and they've compiled and they've managed to do up a fairly large spreadsheet on taking accounts. You can send all the expressions of interest to support@smada.world. That is the email that we use for that. We do have another email that we have for general support issues, but this one we've set up specifically for managing the expressions of interest, so we can keep everything together. We have all our spreadsheets loaded in there, so everything is ready to go once we've got the programmers in line and we're ready to load them up. so just, you know, not sending any other issues to do with support to that, because it clutters it up. We just want to keep it clean on these on this promo, which has been exceptionally good, and the people that have been involved in getting themselves set up with it are in a position where, look, it's too hard for me to work this out, because it could be that people sell their coins fairly quickly, that they get the coins. It could be they hang on to them. I have no idea, but you'll find that these accounts, and this is what I'm saying, is that you're not going to be able to tell anybody about this and have them thinking that you shouldn't be locked up in an asylum or something, to tell them that an account costing $22 might give you a return of somewhere around about the $6,000 and maybe more. Who is going to believe that? Absolutely nobody. So, and look, I feel blessed to be able to offer this out there. It's something that's special. It's exclusive to Next Level Africa. It cannot be done by any other company on the planet, not even close. Not even close. So this was not about us doing a cash grab. This is about putting it back in and letting the members have the benefit of what we've all achieved together. This has been a massive team effort to get to where we are now over the last 4 years, and I went out there, and it's because of the members we have in Next Level Africa that I was committed to never give up on this, and so it's the rewards are coming, and they will come over the next few days, and hopefully that we'll have some webinars coming up that we'll be able to sing the praise of our last 4 years of work. All right, well look, just to let you know that when we first started, our asset account was, when we first started this promo in here on the 23rd of the 3rd, our asset account was $4.5 billion. In Next Level Africa, the coin value was $62 a coin, and as of the 25th of the 5th was the last time, 29th, sorry, the last time the price was increased on our coin. Our asset account went to 8.5 billion and the coin at 118. So there's going to be a further increase on that you'll see that comes out, because the coin has actually doubled, as you can see, in value, and I'm expecting it to double, if not more, in the same period of time. So that's why we're going to have some people that will certainly turn into overnight millionaires when they start selling these coins at the true value of $200 and $300 a coin. Okay, look, I'm going to turn this back over to Angelina just to compile any Q&A, and also I'm limited to what I can answer in some of the things I've spoken about. So if I don't answer some of your questions there to do with that, if you do happen to ask questions about it, I'm hoping to be able to answer all of those if we call a webinar on Monday or Tuesday of next week. Okay, I'll hand this back to Angelina. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Noel. Lots of terrific information coming forward these days. So anyone who has any questions, please go ahead and type them into the chat there, and we'll do our best to answer what we can. We've got 30 minutes to be able to do a Q&A, so that's plenty of time. And usually once we get rolling with these questions, sometimes we get really rolling, which is terrific. We really appreciate your participation. So questions for Noel about what is going on, where we're at. Any questions, anyone? I don't see any being set in here yet. We're coming into some very, I know we've all heard that, very exciting times, but it's hard to put it any other way. you know, everything we've been doing, even when it looks up front, it sounds like we're moving backwards. We always learn something new and vital to be able to prepare us to continue on going forward. So we couldn't be where we're at with, okay, somebody's telling me the chat box is not open. Huh. Um, it's open. Okay. So it's open. So click, yeah, so click on to send to open it. Okay. Um, just, okay, so now if people have questions. All right, good, good. Now they're coming in. Yeah, Liesl, I'm not sure that we're going to be able to offer too much information on UPP Plus, but I'll let Noel just go into that a little bit more if he would like to. Okay, Noel, first question we have from Tom Coleman. Do you see major buying activity on CEX by the end of June? Lovely question. I'll let you continue on, Noel. Please continue on, everyone, to submit your questions in the chat box. I'll hand the mic back to you now, Noel. Thank you.
Thanks, Angelina, and thank you for the question there, Tom. One of the things that I hate being out here is that, and the banks have tagged me with this as well, and as I mentioned before, that there are 3 ways to get communication around telegraph, telephone and tel-nol, so they're reluctant to what they tell me, and when they do tell me something, I get a bit anxious to put it out. So I'm going to try and answer that in a way that I'll leave it a little bit open, because one of the things that I don't want to do out there, Tom, and everyone else, is to overcommit in this area. We've been now had so many things happen that we were expecting something to happen there, and it hasn't happened. So I'm reluctant to do it. But how can I answer that in a way that that might give you a little bit of food for thought? It is one of the reasons that our development team are in London now. So there's talks about exactly what you're talking about there now. So I will know in the next 24 to 48 hours. And as I said, that once I hear official, you'll hear me from the rooftops, and we will call an additional webinar, and you'll see it all through the Skype rooms. It'll go crazy through the Skype rooms. So all I can say is keep your eye on what's going on there, and I think that we'll see some of the things we've all been expecting to see over the last few years. That's all I can really say about it at this point, Tom, without getting myself shot. Liesl, info on UPB. Look, they did send me some info there last night, and they're at the point now where they've got everything ironed out of it, and so the management will be starting to do tests in UPB, and I'm expecting that that they'll be completed the test over the weekend, so you might see a roll out of UPB coming in for next week. But they're very happy with their result on what they've got there, and it's been a massive delay. But you know, when you're dealing with programmers, and I've been dealing with programmers now for 30 odd years, and it's not an easy task, and it probably gets harder and harder because it just becomes a little bit more sophisticated every time you become involved with something. But they'll be using the NLA coin, so we'll certainly have some things rolling on with that. Yeah, Maxine, I'm looking forward to the next week as well, and with all of your hard work that you've put in with your team, I'm sure a lot of people are going to benefit from your effort that you've put out there as well. So a lot of people should be, very humble to what you've done for them. So we should see it's getting closer. I don't know where the finish line is, but it's getting closer. Harry's saying, is it my end, but sound seems to be intermittent from time to time. I'm not sure. We're in the world of electronics out there, Harry. So it depends on where you're at with it. Could be lots of people get intermittent in and out with it. Jeff's asking, still no word from CX to me on my blocked access. When will CX support be? Well, that's what they're going to London for. They're going over to sort all that out. So everything to do with CEX is going to be addressed in London. So we're hoping to get that sorted out from there. James is asking, when will the asset account be updated? Once again, it's because of some of the technical things that have been going on that they have the dollars there. So that should be loaded up. Look, you might see it sometime over the weekend. It could in fact be happening right now. It's done by signing it off from the market maker. Once the market maker signs off on it, but you will see some substantial increases in the asset account over the next 5 to 7 days as well. Margaret's asking, when will the debit card be coming online and how? Look, that's something that we'll be addressing once they've got all the other things sorted out. That's probably the last thing to be added in. Once the exchange is trading and working properly, then they'll start looking at the debit card going in. Yeah, look, I've got someone asking about, I'm trying to work it out. It seems to be about purchasing Chingaling coin at $1. Well, there's no Chingaling coin for $1. Unless you can find someone out there to buy it, whatever the price on the Chingaling coin. It's a good buy at the moment. I think it's someone's got them listed on $30 out there. So anyone with any excess cash, I'm sure that they'll be gone over the next couple of days to all the Chingaling at that sort of price. Yeah, look, I'm pretty much so. We've tidied up the questions there, and I think that on my explanation, I think it probably answered a lot of questions. I mean, I ask a million questions myself. I don't always get the answers out there, so and I don't want to guess. I don't want to guess at what we're doing. So everything is in play with what's going on through the programming teams and everything we do out there. So hopefully we start to see some result. As I said, our team have a 10-hour flight to the UK, and believe you me, we don't send a team over there for a joyride to London and bringing technical teams in from Japan, Hong Kong, and our team obviously from South Africa, and then linking in with the UK programming team and bringing a lot of people that are involved in this, because there's a lot of components where we are with it. So it's all coming together there, and that's why our group have gone over there, because we're right in the middle of everything on what goes on with the exchange, as I mentioned before. And look, what can I say? And I say this with total respect to people, but if we didn't have people that were out there going crazy with putting stupid prices on the coins out there, the banks would have never have turned over the exchange to me. And so they've given us a golden opportunity, because as I mentioned before, that we are in a position where we own the program, and we're not, we haven't sold shares in it. It's totally been financially supported and built, that we have no outstanding debt in there. There's the currency. We own the currency within the system, and now owning the exchange where the currency is bought and sold. You can't get a better combination. There would be no other organization in the world that has that at their fingertips, and the backing of banks that talk in the trillions of dollars out there and are more than happy to look at what we're all about, and that is helping people in the humanitarian world, charities, and just individuals. And the banks certainly want to get behind us in that. So we are in an exceptionally good place. Look, with some of the things coming through, people are really getting excited, and I can understand that, and I do appreciate, and my special thanks out there is obviously to our admin team in the way of Angelina, Karen, and Gildy out there, that they do a lot of work in the background there that certainly we get the benefit of, and most importantly the support from the members that have been there and stuck through thick and thin. So it hasn't been easy out there, and I think that when we get this ship launched out there, and we were talking about it in admin earlier on, I think I'm quietly going to go and find a corner somewhere and probably have a slight breakdown, just to because of the stress that's happened over the last 4 years, and I think we all can agree with that, with our families and friends, because they all think we're crazy, and my family, same as everyone else, thought I'm crazy out there with it. I don't even talk to them. What I'm telling you here now is something I don't even talk to my family about, because they, you know, as I said, we're all in the same boat with it. Anyway, but look, it's been certainly a rewarding time, and getting to know a lot of people, and I guess the loyalty that can happen out there, and I guess that we are going to get this home. I've mentioned before, I've never given up on this, and it's because of the members and their support in this is the reason that drives me. So I'm going to hand this back to Angelina to close up, and I do want to thank everyone once again for being here, and I think we can all agree that we are getting closer. Not sure whether, and I don't think there is a finish line. You know, we're just going to have this humming along, and it'll just continue to grow and grow and grow. So I don't believe we'll ever go past the finish line and say race is over. It's just going to continue on and on. All right, thanks everyone once again. I'll hand this back to Angelina.
Thanks, Noel, and thank you everyone who participated in the questions. We appreciate your input always, and the questions that you do ask, and keeping us on our toes. Yes, I just have to reiterate too that, you know, it's been living like a heightened state of adrenaline for the last 4 years, and I think we'll be so relieved when we can say, yes, okay, let's get on with the real business of Smada World. And it is all a team effort. We really can't do this without you people turning up, being there, being loyal, asking us the hard questions, even though we might not know the answers or we sound repetitive. But, you know, we're all in this together to make, sounds cliche, but a better world for all of us, and I do really mean that. So, on that note, watch for an update telling you when our next webinar is. If you don't see an update, We haven't got it yet, so don't ask us, are we there yet? We will be having our regular webinar next week at the same time, so we are hoping to have an exciting new news webinar, though, on Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday. Watch the rooms, watch your email. Everyone have a great day, whatever time of the day you are. Thank you for turning up and supporting us as always. See you next time. Bye for now.